Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I'm going to be doing your money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance reading for the month of March 2020. Before we get started, I do want to say thank you all for your well wishes and your positive messages when I was recovering from an illness last month. I just want to say thank you for thinking of me, and your loving thoughts and prayers were very much appreciated. So let's go ahead and get started. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my Trippin' Weight Tarot deck. For clarifiers, I will be using my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And then Virgo, for the end of your reading, I will close out with an Angels and Ancestors Oracle card. If this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do invite you to subscribe. And one of the things you may notice is that I do read jumper cards, meaning, as I shuffle the deck, sometimes you will see cards literally fly out of the deck, or sometimes cards will flip over. Those are the cards I choose to read because I believe they have a specific message that we do want to pay attention to. So Virgo, let's go ahead and get started. So what do we need to know for the sign of Virgo as it relates to money? Money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020. Okay. The cards are talking, Virgo. The cards are talking. All right, let me make sure that none of our cards are cut off here. Okay, Virgo. You're actually kind of working through some new challenges, Virgo, but from what I can see with this first row of cards, you're not going to have any issues. You're definitely kind of moving through something that it's almost like you've had something that was a challenge and so hard to overcome, but it's like suddenly you have a breakthrough and you realize, I can master this. You're like, I can move past this. I can control this, or I can break this, or I can do this. You're really going to have a huge breakthrough as we move through that first week of March, and it's actually very exciting. So let's look at what we've got here. The Ace of Swords and the Sun card in the upright position. We also have the 10 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups and the Hangman in reverse. Then we have the 7 of Wands and the 8 of Cups in the reverse position. So we have this Ace of Swords here, and Virgo, you're going to be starting something new, and it's not something that's new to you, and I'm hoping that makes sense. It's like you're starting on a new path, but it's not necessarily a new journey for you. It's something that you either have been working on, or you have been it's been brewing in the back of your mind for some time now, and you're finally ready to kind of take some action. You're finally ready to move forward with something. You're ready to, stop hesitating, stop procrastinating. You're really ready to kind of like move forward in a very big way with this new project. And because this is a money and a, finance, wealth, career reading, you moving and taking action on this new track or on this new journey is really going to kind of set you up for prosperity in the future. And I say that because we have the Sun card here. The Sun card just confirms that whatever it is that you're finally ready to move on, it's good. The timing is right. You're in the right place. Even if you don't have everything you, quote, need, it doesn't mean that you can't start. Now we have the 10 of Pentacles here in the reverse. And this tells me that this is really a solopreneur type of thing. This is not something that you need to wait on anybody else or you don't need anybody else's input. This is something that you have to do for yourself right now. You don't need any outside third-party interference. You don't need anyone else's feedback. You know what you need to do, at least in these first initial developing stages of whatever this new project is that you have decided to kind of move on, especially as we get into that first week of March. Now we also have the Five of Cups here. The Five of Cups means that you no longer are holding on to feelings of regret or fear of missing out, or maybe just being discouraged about one thing or another. You're really moving through these emotional blocks that could have been holding you back. This is a very exciting time for you, Virgo, because I feel like this is really us kind of coming into it's like coming into our own enlightenment, really coming into a period of time where we're just not worried about what other people think anymore. And we're just not hesitating, and we're just not, choosing to live life any less than we've done, in the past. It's like now we want to experience the fullness of who we are, what we can offer, and how we're showing up in this world. And I say that because the Hangman is in the reverse position. This means you're no longer feeling stuck. You're no longer living by these limited beliefs or mental blocks or emotional challenges that have been so detrimental in the past. It's like you're really ready to kind of break free of all of that. Now, the interesting thing is you may have people who may not be entirely supportive, and they will make their opinions known, especially in that first week of March. You may have to defend yourself, or you may have to kind of explain why you're doing the things you're doing. Now, it's not something that's going to be hugely challenging or a huge setback, but at the same time, it's something that you are going to have to really be secure and confident within yourself, so you know that you are on the right track and doing the right thing for yourself. Even if other people don't see it, that doesn't matter. What's important is that you know it deep within. Now, I also see the Eight of Cups here in reverse. That tells me that you could be having some second thoughts or second guessing about leaving a certain situation. That actually may be a good thing if you are, deciding, oh, I want to quit, or oh, I want to leave this relationship, or oh, I want to end this partnership. You know what? Hold off on that. Let's see what else shows up, because I'm getting the sense that there's going to be more information forthcoming as we move throughout the month of March, Virgo. And you may second guess your decision to leave or move away from a certain situation. Okay, so what do we need to know for the sign of Virgo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020? What do we need to know for the sign of Virgo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020? What else do we need to know for the sign of Virgo? All right, interesting. Okay, Virgo, as we move towards the second week of March, you're going to have a lot of people around you. And the reason why I say that is because every one of these cards has a person. Now, we're not going to interpret the cards as like, oh, this is, so-and-so and this is so-and-so. But whenever I get cards that show people in every single card, that tells me that you're going to be surrounded by a lot of different energies, a lot of different personalities. And me being a Virgo myself, I know how sometimes we can be a little, sensitive and sometimes overly sensitive to the energies of other people. So, what we're going to have to do, Virgos, is we're going to have to make sure that we stay really, really guarded as far as spiritually and energetically, because you're going to have a lot of different personalities and all kinds of different energies just really, really coming through quite strongly for you, especially in that second week of March. But let's take a look at what we've got going on here. We've got the Strength card, Knight of Pentacles in the upright, Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups, all in the reverse position. This Strength card is actually very, very good. This is just kind of confirming what we talked about in that first week of March, where you are going to start moving in the direction of something you have been planning or working on for quite some time. You definitely have the strength and the tenacity to do it, and now is really the best time for you not to hold back and really take a big step forward. Now, we also have the Knight of Pentacles, which means that you are going to be presented with some financial options. Someone is going to be either offering you money, it could be a loan, it could be a gift. You are going to definitely have opportunities come up where you will be able to take advantage of being in a position where you can use money in order to help build something that you are working on. Okay, it's almost like you're going to kind of make that shift mentally where money is working for you and you're not working for money. Now, we have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position, and this just tells me that you're going to have to be a little careful as far as your spending goes. Now, just because money is being presented to you in a very, good and big and confident way, we just have to be careful and not be too, overzealous with the money that we have. Now, we also have the Queen of Wands here in the reverse, and this is a very grounded energy. However, when she shows up in the reverse position, it could mean that you're going through a period of feeling really unsettled and maybe feeling a little bit kind of disjointed in a way, where you're feeling pulled in many different directions, and you're also feeling a little challenged as far as, where you're devoting your time and your attention and your energy to. You may feel like, things are just kind of going in so many different directions, and it's hard for you to keep up. But just know that this is temporary, okay? It's not something that's going to last forever. Everybody goes through these ups and downs and these feelings of, being a little bit unsettled, or things feeling a little bit unstable. But it's okay, because it is going to smooth out as we move through the month of March. Now, we have the Knight of Swords here. This tells me that this is a specific person, is what I'm getting. Someone who made a promise does not keep that promise. And Virgo, you probably, if you don't know who this person is now, you probably will know who it is by the time we hit that second week of March, or the person will just plain out reveal themselves to you. But when the Knight of Swords is in the reverse position, this is a broken promise. And I'm feeling like this is from someone in particular, someone who you thought you could rely on, and someone who you thought would really come through. Unfortunately, I'm not getting that. I'm getting that there's a broken promise, and you'll probably feel it or deal with it or experience it roughly in that second week of March. It's not going to be, hugely catastrophic. It's just going to be a little disappointing, and it may sting just for a little bit. Now, we also have the Queen of Cups here. This is a very emotional, very highly charged sensitivity card. And because you do have that broken promise, I'm feeling like maybe it throws you off a little bit emotionally. But it's not something that's going to totally take you out, Virgo, because that's just not what we do, I mean, we're very practical and we're very analytical about things. However, sometimes, we can get caught up in our emotions, and sometimes, our emotions do weigh heavily on us because we're highly sensitive beings. But I don't feel Like this is going to be something that's huge. You know, there will be some disappointment, but it's not something, like I said, that's going to totally, you know, kick you out of the game. But let's go ahead and get some clarity on that. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Virgo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? For the month of March 2020. Okay, I saw a card that was flipped over. There we go. All right, Virgo. Okay, so all of these cards are in the reverse position, but that doesn't mean, you know, anything negative. I know a lot of you leave comments saying, oh, all cards are in the reverse. You know, the world's coming to an end. No, it's not. I promise you that. All right, we've got the Page of Cups, King of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Three of Swords, Three of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles, all in the reverse position. Some of these actually are very good to be in the reverse position. I'm getting the sense of that with this one here, and I'm also getting the sense with this one and maybe this one too, but we'll see what intuitively comes through as we work through the cards here. So we have the Page of Cups here. This is a message coming through. Because it's in the reverse position, it tells me that something is happening, but it's just going to be delayed. It is something related to money, wealth, business, career, finances. You know, it's good news. It's just not coming at the timing that you would like, okay? Now, we also have the King of Pentacles here, and the King of Pentacles is a very positive, powerful, someone who is very much educated and intelligent as to the workings of money. But when he shows up in the reverse position, sometimes it means decisions that are being made hastily. And we have to be careful with that, Virgo, because sometimes we can be a little bit too overly confident. And so we just kind of go with that feeling, even though we didn't really maybe do all the necessary research, or maybe we kind of ignored something that didn't quite seem right. So this is just kind of giving you a heads up is to be really, really careful when you're making some money decisions in that third week of March, because you don't want to act too quickly. Take your time. You know, be careful to really examine every possible angle of the situation before you make a major decision, especially when it concerns money. Now, we also have the Six of Wands here, and we have the Three of Swords. The Six of Wands, this is about recognition. It's also about showing up. But sometimes when it's in the reverse position, it means that for whatever reason, you're choosing not to show up in a big way. I'm not saying that you deliberately are playing small, Virgo, but sometimes we have a tendency to kind of hide. And, you know, we kind of get in that hermit mode because hermit is our card. And so sometimes when you have opportunities to really show up and be seen, we don't always embrace that, okay? And so you may want to just kind of look at that as something to be aware of. If somebody wants to, you know, definitely share who you are or what you do or put you out there, if it feels right, you need to trust it and you need to go for it, you know, and don't shy away from those opportunities, because they could be something that totally transforms your business, your life, your money, or your career in some way. Now, we also have the Three of Swords here. This means that, you know, because this fell on this Knight of Swords, this is the Broken Promise card. The Three of Swords is getting over heartbreak. You know, this is when it's in the upright position, it's, you know, total heartbreak and disappointment. But because this is in the reverse, this tells me that you are getting over heartbreak. You have dealt with the emotional heaviness of whatever situation is, and you're moving past it, and you're not allowing it to affect you, you know, anymore. As we get into that third week of March, you're really going to feel like you healed from some emotional hurts, and you're really to just kind of move forward and take the lessons and leave the pain behind. We have the Three of Cups here. Again, because this fell on that Broken Promise card, I'm getting the sense that, this was someone that you thought you could really rely on, and you have learned to kind of, moving forward, you're not going to include this person in any future plans. And I think that's a good thing. Like I said, because you really are kind of on your own path when it comes to wealth, money, finances, business, entrepreneurship, Virgo. You really want to kind of eliminate as many opposing ideas and opposing energies as much as possible. Now we also have the Eight of Pentacles. This means that work is probably going to slow down for you in some way. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that maybe, work was coming, but you are going to go through a period where work is going to slow down. And sometimes that's a good thing because, we need the break. Or, maybe it's just giving you a chance to get caught up on some other things. Again, that's going to be happening roughly in that third week of March. All right, so what else do we need to know? For the sign of Virgo, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020. Okay, Virgo, as we close out the end of March, a lot of things are going to be placed on hold, okay? And this is not anything of your doing. It's just the situation and how things are going at this particular time. Again, we have some reversals here, an entire row of reversals, but it's not all negative. We have the Six of Swords, Temperance, Five of Cups. Now, we had the Five of Cups. Did we have the Five of Cups earlier? No, oh, yes, we did. We had him here. All right, Five of Cups again. Here we go. We have the Ten of Swords, and then we also have the Lover's card in reverse. Now, Virgo, I'm getting the sense that you're really internalizing a lot of things, and it's almost causing a little bit of emotional overwhelm. However, that's not something that's going to really hold you back or distract you from your mission and from your purpose that we talked about, that you're going to be really going strong at the beginning of March. The Six of Swords in the reverse position tells me that you could have the opportunity to travel, or you could have the opportunity to move or go away or take a trip or do something. But for some reason, you're probably going to postpone the trip, or maybe the trip could get delayed or canceled in some way, but it's actually going to work out in your favor because some things just kind of are shifting, and you may need the time to be a little bit more settled and a little bit more grounded in your own environment before you start really moving and taking some big trips or doing some big, shifting as far as your locality. Now we have Temperance card here. This card in the reverse also talks about things being a little out of balance and a little, maybe you've got too much emphasis here and not enough emphasis there. It's also too something about really just trying to make a decision of what you want to focus on. What do you want to be your priority? You really go through some soul searching again because we have the Five of Cups here. We saw him earlier in the month. And it's really just kind of working through those emotional challenges of feeling like, this is what I want to do, and not feeling guilty or not feeling obligated to work on something else that doesn't necessarily set your heart on fire. That's not your passion project. Now we have the Ten of Swords here, and again, this fell on the Three of Swords, which falls onto that Broken Promise card. Again, you're still going to be feeling some residual emotion from that towards the end of the month, Virgo. And sometimes these are just things that we can't control. And it's also, sometimes there's a bigger lesson if we dig a little bit deeper and we take the time to really kind of work through the emotional healing and the mental challenges that kind of sometimes show up when you're going through something that's emotionally heavy. Finally, we have the Lover's card in the reverse position. This is also about a divine union. Now, we could interpret this card two ways. It could be literally a separation of some sort. And because we're focused on money, career, work, finance, prosperity, and abundance, this could be the dissolvement of a professional relationship, or it could also mean a divine union that comes together but doesn't necessarily stick, right? It may seem like this is the perfect person or this is the perfect company. And then you start working together and then you realize, maybe this is not exactly what I thought it was. Now, sometimes that's a good thing because it brings us to the realization and it gives us super clarity on what it is that we do want and what it is that we are trying to create. So depending on the situation, you can interpret this card two ways. Since I don't know you specifically and what's going on in your life, you're going to have to see which interpretation fits for what you're doing right now at this time. So overall, Virgo, you have like a very, I don't want to say it's a challenging month of March, but it's going to be a very enlightening month because you're going to be learning quite a bit about yourself. It's almost like you go through this self-revelation period in March and you really start making decisions and you really start getting confirmation on who you are and what you want and how you want to show up in this world. You go through a little bit of emotional challenge here with this broken promise, and you also it's like you have this momentum that starts off strong in the month of March, and it does carry you through. It carries you through the remainder of the month and really just kind of puts you in a hyper-focused state, and that you don't allow yourself to get too distracted and too thrown off track by other things that are going on. But like I said, this is a self-discovery period for you, Virgo. And it's also a period of just really learning who you are, like I said, and how you want to be seen in the world. So Virgo, let's go ahead and close out your reading with an Angels and an Ancestors Oracle card. Oh, this one is Lord, take charge with authority. And I do feel like March is going to be a month where you have to take charge, Virgo. You've got a lot of things going on. You've got a lot of decisions that you're making. And you've got some periods of really strong spiritual, emotional, and mental growth that's definitely going to carry you to that next level in your life. It's also very interesting too, is because you will be needing to take charge, especially as it relates to your money. You're going to be making some very big decisions, as we already talked about, roughly in that second week of March, and you're really going to see that you do have the power to set yourself up for the ultimate success that you are working towards. All right, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. And I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. I'll see you again next month.